Welcome to Mojito's Gaming Bar, a show about alien games, earthly games, blue games, green games, strong games, weak games. You get the idea. Today we're reviewing Half-Life 2, a game that is very dear to my heart, but of course not exempt of criticism.
No pit would be complete without a Freeman climbing out of it.
The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world.
The game starts with a monologue by the G-Man. What he is saying at this point is not important, it's basically fake, deep, incoherent drivel, and who he is complicated, and I'll explain it later. So, after you're done hallucinating, you realize you are in a train. It starts setting the tone.
No matter how many times I've been relocated, I never get used to it.
And then you arrived. As soon as you get out of the train, you see two of the most important enemies in the game. First is that little drone that takes pictures of you, it's called a scanner. And second is that dude on the big screen called Dr. Breen. Other games have probably done this before, but I still think it's pretty ballsy that one of the first things you see when you arrive in the game world is the final boss saying welcome.
To City 17. It's safer here.
He's not lying about the safety. As you can see, the cops here do their job with enthusiasm and zeal.
Alright, I'm moving, jeez.
Overwatch stopped our train in the woods and took my husband for questioning. They said he'd be on the next train. They're being nice, though, letting me wait for him.
After letting you roam and take in the mood for a few seconds, you are immediately sent to the nearest police station.
This must be a mistake. I got a standard relocation coupon just like everybody else.
It is conveniently located inside the train station. And the game keeps throwing characters at your face after the G-Man and Dr. Breen meet Barney. He was a security guard at Black Mesa and also the protagonist of the Half-Life spin-off Blue Shift.
I've been working undercover with civil protection. I can't take too long or they'll get suspicious. I'm way behind on my beating quota.
Yes, Barney, what is it? I'm in the middle of a critical test.
And this little baldy guy is Dr. Isaac Kleiner, one of your former peers. I guess he technically still is your peer?
I expected more warning.
Yeah, you and me both, Doc. He was about to board the express to Nova Prospekt.
And they're talking about someone named Alex, who's apparently like a tour guide, whom is gonna help you find your way. Now it's time to get out of the train station. After a couple obstacles... Yeah, remember that chuckle, I'll come back to it later. So after a couple obstacles, you're outside. So this is City 17. It's unclear where exactly on Earth it is located, but there are clues. The city has a clear Russian vibe, especially because there's lots of Cyrillic everywhere, and there are some places called Baltic. So because of these clues, I believe that the location of City 17 corresponds to Kaliningrad, which is a Russian satellite region near the Baltic Sea.
This is how it always starts. First the building, then the whole block. They have no reason to come to our place. Don't worry, they'll find one.
So as you were haphazardly trying to find your way like a stranger in Moscow, you were already getting into trouble. The cops here are hell-bent against anything suspicious, and that includes you.
Look at them down there.
I told you they'd be coming for us next.
Just this once, I hope you're wrong.
You start hearing a somewhat robotic woman's voice talking about a miscount. That's you. That voice, by the way, is Ellen McLean. That was her first role in a video game, and since then, she's basically become the voice of Valve. She is the announcer in Team Fortress, she's the witch in Left 4 Dead, and of course GLaDOS and the turrets in Portal. She's also in Dota and Artifact, I think? Who cares?
Get in here, quick! Keep moving, head for the roof!
So you try to escape through the roofs while every cop starts shooting at you. Note the interesting architecture in the background. Quickly you find yourself at a roadblock and they start beating you unconscious. But...
No, you don't!
It's time to meet Alex Vance, one of the best video game characters ever created.
Dr. Freeman, I presume. We better hurry.
Some people in City 17 are quite unhappy with the government, and she is one of the leaders of the opposition who call themselves the Resistance. She leads you through a series of secret tunnels to the laboratory of Dr. Kleiner, who is another one of the Resistance leaders. Note the orange lambda on the wall, it is the symbol of the resistance. Not to be confused with the letter omega, which is a symbol of electrical resistance. A lot happens in Kleiner's lab. You get to know more about him, Barney and Alex, of course. You also learn that the government leaders are called the Combine, and you get the HEV suit, which is basically a suit of armor made for hazardous environments. It monitors your vital signs, it's got an inbuilt Geiger counter, etc, etc.
Well, Gordon, I see your HEV suit still fits you like a glove. At least, the glove parts do. I've modified your suit to draw power from Combine energy outlets, which are plentiful wherever they patrol.
Using the Combine's own technology against them is one of the leitmotifs of this game.
Get this show on the road.
Kleiner's specialty, like yours, is teleportation, and he's about to make a major breakthrough. He's about to try to send Alex to the lab of her father, Dr. Eli Vance, using the brand new teleport that he just finished building. If it works, you're next. The whole point of this teleport is to help people escape City 17 without being stopped by the Combine, because just walking out of there is basically impossible. The Combine will stop you, and possibly kill you.
Are you ready for us, Dad?
We're all set on this end.
Then let's do it.
You gonna let Gordon throw the switch?
Gordon, go right ahead.
Now, it's not a rare thing, especially nowadays, but Half-Life 2 has some of the best voice acting I've ever heard in a game.
Commencing now.
I can't look. Science. That's what we're making.
Well, did it work?
See for yourself.
Hey, Doc.
Thank goodness.
Well, the test subject ain't dead, so that's pretty good.
Fantastic work, is it?
Well, I can't take all the credit. Dr. Freeman proved an able assistant.
Good job, Gordon. Throwing that switch and all. I can see your MIT education really pays for itself.
But oh no, there's technical difficulties. Big technical difficulties. Serious technical difficulties. Things are not going on as planned. Yeah, big oopsie moment. The teleport ain't working anymore.
We're losing it again.
Remember when I said that you could not escape City 17 on foot because the Combine would stop you and probably kill you? Well, guess what you're supposed to do next.
Get out of City 17 as fast as you can, Gordon. Take the old canals, right? They'll get you to Eli's lab. It's a dangerous route, but there's a whole network of refugees and they'll help you if they can. I'd come with you, but I gotta look after Dr. Kleiner. Oh, and before I forget, I think you dropped this back in Black Mesa.
The crowbar was the
Good luck
first
out there,
weapon
buddy.
you got in the
You're gonna
original
need it.
game. It very much became the symbol of Half-Life. Running through an active trainway while getting shot by the cops is such a mood in City 17.
Help me! Stop! We didn't do anything!
Wow, a gun!
I've been looking for you now. You'd better run. There's nothing else you can do here.
Alright, let's go shoot some cops. Pigeons! The explosive barrels, recognizable from their red color, are an important gameplay element. They can work for you or against you. In this game, a lot of elements that can be very dangerous to you can also work in your favor. For example, this train.
Be careful now. We really can't afford to get noticed. Civil protection catches you down here, it's bad news for the whole railroad.
The green guy here is a Vortigaunt. Basically, they're an alien race that were enslaved by the Combine and they decided to join the Resistance because they want to be free. This species of alien wildlife is called a barnacle. It will try to eat anything that touches its tongue. It's strange to see how naive the people seem to have remained in City 17. These people say, "Don't shoot me," to the cops, even though obviously the cops are not gonna listen. I wonder if this means that things started getting bad recently, but I doubt it.
Over here!
Keep going, friend. That station was raided, but there's others up ahead. I'm gonna stay here in case any others come through. Gotta keep the railway alive.
See, I appreciate the optimism, but you're not gonna keep anyone alive with that attitude, miss. Especially not yourself. Okay, wow, here's one of the worst parts in the game. I fucking hate this. This is a puzzle. It's not a smart puzzle, it's not a fun puzzle. So this plank is above a concrete tube and you gotta use it to jump to the next area, but of course it works like a seesaw, so you gotta find all the cinder blocks in the room and put them at the right spot on the plank to be able to jump forwards. It is just tedious. It's a chore. And the only reason this is there is to showcase the physics of the source engine. I really don't like when developers do this kind of shit. But the payoff is interesting, because you're about to make a new friend, Mr. Helix. See, it's dangerous to go alone in City 17, but don't worry, this helicopter is going to follow you everywhere. This little chopper is an introvert's wet dream. It's gonna make you love crawling into tunnels and hate going outside.
Civil protection is onto us. We're tearing up the railroad, covering our tracks.
Was that a pun? Railroad tracks?
Be glad you're not the guy they're looking for. Poor bastard doesn't stand a chance. Now they're flooding the areas up ahead with manhacks.
Oh no, the Combine have been flooding the underground tunnels with manhacks. Wait, what are manhacks? Here they are. These cute little drones have 3 rotating blades and they're very attracted to you. In City 17, the fun never stops. So for a while, that's gonna be your life. Cops, manhacks, cops, hunter chopper, tunnels, with the occasional bad puzzle thrown in. I don't like the puzzles, but the shooting is really, really fun. And that's really important since this is a shooting game. Here we have something incredible. Hear the Geiger counter clicking? Yeah, that's radioactive waste. But this radioactive waste will not hurt you unless you touch it. You can stay right in front of it for as long as you want and nothing will happen. But if you just dip one of your feet in it, you're gonna start taking damage really fast. I don't think that's how it works, but I don't know enough about radioactivity to dispute it.
Hey! You're Freeman, aren't you? You got here at a bad time.
Story of my life. So you're about to see some feral head crabs, as well as the concept of shelling. Head crabs are alien wildlife that was introduced in Half-Life 1, and the Combine have apparently decided to weaponize them by chucking them into shells and launching these shells at high speed at people that they decided to target because they're part of the resistance or any other reason really. See, the head crabs don't look too dangerous, but when they couple with your head, they turn you into a zombie, like these ones. And as far as we know, the process is irreversible. The only cure is death. Now, it might not be the Combine who had the idea of shelling, but I'll discuss that theory later. I got bad news for you, lady. You're gonna die tonight of radiation poisoning.
Hey, Dr. Freeman. I've been hoping you'd show up. Got this airboat all gassed up and ready to go.
And now we got the airboat. There are lots of people who do not like the airboat and who think this section is too long, and I wanna say, fuck 'em. I love the airboat. It is awesome. Compared to other FPS games, Half-Life really has an obsession with vehicles. It is not a coincidence if you start the game in a train. If I see this motherfucker one more time, and here you see a dropship, which is a Combine vehicle that transports troops, weapons, and more. You quickly learn to recognize the sound it makes because it means that cops, soldiers, or worse are about to arrive, sometimes in great numbers.
His figure is synonymous with the darkest urges of instinct.
And here we have Wallace fucking Brain shit-talking you on live TV.
Power. If you see this so-called free man, report him. Civic deeds do not go unrewarded, and contrariwise, complicity with his cause will not go unpunished.
Haters gonna hate. And here we have another police station where the janitor is on vacation, apparently. And another puzzle. Time to shoot more cops! Yeah, this is a police station, so of course there's a lot of them. And now we have APCs who fire rockets at us. That's really cool. Bombastic. And here's the return of Choppy McChopperface, and more cops, and manhacks, and this very satisfying Combine mounted gun. and a new helicopter arrives, but to keep things fresh, this one drops bombs. And the sun is starting to set, filling up the environment with really nice light. So hey, this is a good time to talk about the graphics. Honestly, these are some of the best graphics I have ever seen in a video game, even to this day. Because yes, as I am writing this game is 17 years old. It is closer in time to the first Madden than it is to present day. And if you're watching this video in, say, 5 years, so 2026, it will be closer in time to the home release of the original Pac-Man than it will be to the present day, and my guess is that it still will be looking great. I think the brilliance of these graphics is that they tend towards photorealism, but with a subtle layer of cartoonish that really helps avoid the uncanny valley. It's trying to be realistic, but not too much, just the right dosage. Every environment in this game has a mood, and the lighting plays a big part in that. Really brilliant use of light and shadows all over the board. I love almost everything about these graphics. I've always been impressed by the animations of the characters, whether it's bodies or faces. Once again, I think it's because they're leaning towards realism, but with a healthy dose of cartoonish to take the edge off and avoid the uncanny valley. I'm also low-key blown away by the quality of the water effects. In the overwhelming majority of the games that I've played, even the recent ones with really beautiful graphics, the water effects don't hold up to scrutiny. It's like the Achilles heel of gaming graphics, since the beginning of 3D, I guess. See, this still looks good nowadays because it's extremely stylized, but in most 3D games, even now, the water effects just don't hold up. And to be completely fair, there's one thing that looks like trash in Half-Life 2. Foliage. I guess the devs didn't have experience with that since the first Half-Life is in a bunker, underground, in the middle of the desert. No trees, no grass, nothing of that sort. Clearly plants are outside of Valve's comfort zone, which is strange because here is a picture of Valve having lunch and I can see some vegetables in there. And how many fucking floating mines does this chopper have in storage? Okay, what I think is that inside the chopper there's a sweatshop of tiny combined gnomes who are crafting the bombs as fast as they can. It's the only logical explanation I could come up with. Fortunately, the bombs do not really hurt you too much, just another example of explosives that don't really explode, a very common trope in the Half-Life universe.
You're Freeman, aren't you?
I wouldn't believe it if I couldn't see it with my own eyes. Dr. Gordon Freeman himself. Eli's hideout is here, a stone's throw from the apron and nestled in the old hydro plant. But getting there, with that hunter chopper on your ass, next to impossible. Good news is, the Vortigaunt's working his magic on your airboat, so you'll have a little more firepower going forward. I think he's just finishing up now. There we are. That gun came off one of the same hunter choppers that you're up against. I always like to bring a little irony to a firefight.
That's not what irony means, man. I mean, thanks for the gun, but I think that this guy learned his definition of irony from Alanis Morissette. Yeah, that gun isn't ironic, it's legit. And would you look at that, the sun is setting. Gorgeous! This game does not actually have passage of time, so the time of day is entirely linked to where you are on the map. Hey jabroni! Come down here and fight like a man! Ah, yes, of course. 'Tis the place that goes ding. Every good video game needs one of these. Magnificent. Sunset over the marsh. So chill and meditative. The perfect backdrop for a boss battle! And here it comes. It's the Flying Bomb Factory. But seriously, what? I read in an interview that the designer originally intended the chopper to fire lots of bullets, but he messed up a value in the programming code and this happened. And he decided to let that in because he thought it was funny. Transform your fuck-ups into successes. Very inspirational. And now we arrive at Eli's place, and that's gonna be pretty much the most important moment of the game. So it's time for a Half-Life 1 recap.
Half-Life 2 continues the story of Half-Life 1, but you don't really need to have played Half-Life 1 to understand it. Even if you played Half-Life 1, you're going to have a lot of questions when you start Half-Life 2.
In the first Half-Life, you play as Gordon Freeman, who at this point is just a dude who's late for work. Gordon is a 27-year-old theoretical physicist who recently graduated from MIT. Today's a big day because his team, the Anomalous Materials Group, is about to do an experiment on a crystal of mysterious origin that it just acquired. But when they do the experiment, the shit gets more fucked than a gender reveal party in the middle of Florida. And just like that, aliens start teleporting into the Black Mesa research facility like mosquitoes swarming a river on a hot summer night. They're not even space aliens, nah, that's not alien enough. They come from a different universe in another dimension. And so Gordon must fight his way out of Black Mesa while hoping that the whole research facility doesn't collapse on his ass. But not to worry, the military is coming to do a rescue operation. Oh wait, no, they lied to you. It's not a rescue operation, it's a cover-up. The government sends soldiers to kill every single scientist in the base because they want no witnesses. So now you're still trying to escape, but the aliens and the military keep trying to kill you. The only silver lining at this point is that sometimes they fight each other, and you get to ride a little train. Then you learn that the scientists have actually been in contact with the aliens for such a long time that they have entire labs dedicated to experimenting on them.
Well, there goes our grant money.
Everything keeps getting worse. Bigger and badder aliens keep teleporting at an alarming rate, and the military are bombing the place so much that it's starting to fall apart. And that's when you learn that the scientists at Black Mesa have also mastered teleportation. There's a whole ass very secret complex full of teleportation labs that you weren't even supposed to know about. But the situation is so dire that rules don't apply anymore. And so the scientists tell you that they know where the aliens come from. They're confident in the fact that someone is sending the aliens to Earth, and so your new job is to kill that someone, whoever they are. So they deadass teleport you into the border world of the other dimension, Zen. On Zen, everything is different. Even gravity works in mysterious ways. But don't worry, there's still plenty of shooting to be done. And hey, here is where the crystal that you pushed in the test chamber came from. There's also a lot of dead people who are wearing the exact same HEV suit as you. You thought you were the first? Nah, far from it. And so you wander through increasingly esoteric environments until you find the alien factory, and then this really stylish door. Yeah, that's a door. And guess who's behind it? Nihilanth! That's who has been sending the aliens to Earth. And after a long and difficult battle, you finally kill him. And that's when you meet the G-Man.
Gordon Freeman in the flesh. Or rather, in the hazard suit, I took the liberty of relieving you of your weapons. Most of them were government property. The border world, Zen, is in our control for the time being, thanks to you. Quite a nasty piece of work you managed over there. I am impressed. That's why I'm here, Mr. Freeman. I have recommended your services to my employers, and they have authorized me to offer you a job. They agree with me that you have limitless potential.
Could you pay me in advance?
Two little things before we get back to the main event. First, I said in the beginning of the video that I would explain who the G-Man is. That was a lie. I don't know. Nobody knows. And number two, the Half-Life 2 official website stated that a little under 2 decades elapsed between Half-Life 1 and Half-Life 2. During that time, Gordon Freeman had been placed in stasis by the G-Man. So for him, it could have been like a day or two, he didn't age, you know the drill. That's about it, so now let's go back to the future? No, the present? Let's go back to Half-Life 2. As I said earlier, we have arrived at Eli's place.
Dr. Freeman? Gordon Freeman? Is that you?
This game is full of nerds, and here is the nerdiest of them all. Meet Dr. Judith Mossman. It should have been her instead of you in the test chamber in Black Mesa, apparently. It seems that you were hired in her stead because she had a better diploma and was asking for a salary that was deemed too high, and also you had an internship in Innsbruck, Austria, where you learned a lot about teleportation. It could have been meddling by the G-Man, Man, but I doubt it. And this tangentially addresses one of the biggest plot holes in the first Half-Life. During the game, you meet hundreds of scientists who work at the Black Mesa research facility, and not a single one is a woman. That's weird. An amusing anecdote recalled by developer Adrian Finol is that when his fella Scott Dalton got hired, he went through the game files and found one called mossman.mdl. And so he thought, holy shit, one of the monsters in the game is a man made out of moths, like the Swamp Thing? So he opened the file, and when he saw who it actually was, I quote, that was his first disappointment.
Eli, look who I found in the airlock.
Gordon Freeman. My God, you haven't changed one iota. How do you do it? Welcome to the lab anyway. It's not Black Mesa, but it served us well enough.
Oh shit, they got big book, big text! Such a classic of American literature.
Alex, I thought you were on watch. The Vortigaunts relieved me so I could come see Gordon. Anyway, I should be in here working on the portal.
I have the repairs well in hand. Someone misjudged the capacity of the Combine thyristor.
Are you blaming me?
No, not at all. It was a calculation error, not a mechanical problem.
Then maybe you should let me do the calculations next time.
I do not understand why they felt the need to make Alex behave like a shithead in this scene. She's supposed to be 24, not 14. Maybe some sort of Electra complex?
Why don't you take Gordon along and give him some practice with the gravity gun?
Sure. Come on, Gordon. Let's go have some fun.
The zero-point energy field manipulator is not a toy, Alex.
Ugh, let's get out of here.
It's cringy and it feels unnatural and forced.
She's one of the main reasons I spend so much time outside. That's the old passage to Ravenholm. We don't go there anymore.
Why? Sounds like a nice place. I like ravens. Anyway, here's the most distinctive item in Half-Life 2, the zero-point energy field manipulator, aka gravity gun. In a nutshell, it's used to manipulate heavy objects without touching them.
Give it a try. Once you've picked something up, you can drop it gently by pressing your secondary trigger again. Pick up some stuff and toss it.
I find the noise it makes very irritating, but apart from that, it's an awesome tool/weapon.
You can also pull stuff over from a distance. Try grabbing those barrels from that ledge up there. All right.
And brace yourselves, because now is when we meet the game's best character.
Dog! Come! Good doggy. Gordon, this is Dog. My dad built him to protect me when I was a kid. First model was about yay high. I've been adding to him ever since. Haven't I, boy?
It's time for relaxing and bonding with Alex and Dog while learning to use the gravity gun.
Throw another, Dog. Awesome. Another one, Dog.
Alas, as usual, trouble tends to follow in your wake, and this moment of respite will be short-lived.
No, boy! Down! Put that down! What is it, Dog? Oh my god, what was that? Scanners! Oh, Combine sweeping the area! Gotta head back to the lab. Come on, Gordon! What's going on in there?
Where are you, Alex?
We're in the scrapyard airlock, stuck in a full auto cycle.
Is Gordon still with you?
He's right here.
Good. I want you to...
Dad?
Take Gordon out of here. Head for the coast. Do not go through Raven...
Dad? Dad! Damn it! Dog, open the airlock. Get us out of here. That's enough, Dog. Come on, Gordon. I can't leave my father. Dog, take Gordon to the Ravenholm tunnel, then circle around and try to meet up with me. Hurry!
Well, fuck. I guess we're going to Ravenholm after all. I hope it's not as bad as they made it sound. Can't be much worse than City 17 anyway. Oh, you're not coming with me, boy? Well, alone again. Oh, is that what we're doing now? Okay. I get it. I see what's going on. Under the moonlight, you see a sight that almost stops your heart. You try to scream, but terror takes the sound before you make it. You start to freeze as horror looks you right between the eyes. You're paralyzed, 'cause this is thriller night. And no one's gonna save you from the beast about to strike. You know it's thriller night. You're falling for your life inside a killer thriller tonight. Yeah.
Father Grigori, you have already met my congregation.
I would not categorize Half-Life 2 as a horror game, but damn, in this chapter, we're flirting with it so close that one of us might get pregnant. And yeah, we're not alone after all. There's hundreds of zombies, including the newly introduced fast zombies and the poison zombies, who are built like tanks and throw venomous headcrabs at your face. But more importantly, we meet Father Grigori.
Here, brother.
Sadly, we're not going to be able to take him with us as he is way too attached to his burg, for reasons that probably only make sense to himself.
Although they call me crazy, I care not, for thou art my helper, my strength, and my relief.
I wonder if he's talking about God or his shotgun. Maybe both.
Follow me, brother, and tread lightly, for this is hallowed ground. Aim for the head. To the light. All for your affliction, child. Farewell, brother. I fear I deliver you to a darker place. May the light of lights illuminate your path.
And after a long walk through the mines, we see the light at the end of the tunnel. Literally. Snipers are really dangerous because they can see you from afar, their bullets hurt a lot even when your armor is fully charged, and they can even use elements of the decor to cause you trouble. Fortunately, I have the perfect antidote for them. And this is a good moment to talk about game difficulty. The game has 3 difficulty settings: easy, normal, and hard. Straight up, I don't like that. I don't like that in any game. Your games should be properly balanced, so players should not have to choose a difficulty level. That might be a controversial opinion, but I 100% stand by it. Can you imagine if you want to watch a comedy show that before the show starts you have to choose how many jokes do you want? Do you want just a little bit of jokes so it's not too funny? Or do you want the normal amount of jokes? Or do you want just all the dialogue to be replaced by jokes so you don't understand anymore what's going on? At least in Half-Life 2, one of the options is called normal. I always choose normal because to me that signifies that I'm playing the game as intended, which is what I want. I want the developers to choose a set difficulty and commit to that. That being said, Half-Life 2 might be the easiest FPS I have ever played. It's really easy. The game incentivizes you by many different means to go around running, guns blazing. The ammo is plentiful all over, and there's also a lot of health all around. It's almost made to be a run and gun like Contra or Metal Slug. I have tried the game to be thorough on easy, normal, and hard, and I did not really feel a difference between those. Only when there's like a boss battle, when you have to take down a big enemy, you notice that they die faster in easy difficulty. But apart from that, the game feels pretty much the same. Yeah, that's what I have to say about the difficulty in Half-Life 2.
Who's hurt?
Winston's been hit.
Patch him up and get him to the back as soon as he's stable. Gordon Freeman. It's incredible you made it. We've been getting communications from Alex. I'll see if I can reach her again. Follow me.
Dr. Freeman, you're kidding. Look, I've been on the line with Alex. Her father's been captured.
Eli Vance is indispensable to the liberation.
Why? This is never explained.
You made it to Ravenholm, thank God.
need you to make your way along the coast until you get to Nova Prospekt. It used to be a high-security prison. It's something much worse than that now. But I think it's still easier to sneak in than to break out.
You wanted to take the coast road? He won't last 5 minutes on foot. It's spawning season for the Antlions.
That's why I called you, Leon. I was hoping you still had the scout car we left with you last summer. The one my dad rigged with the Tau cannon.
Yeah, good idea. Hold on a sec.
So we get a car. Now, I am excited at the idea of committing vehicular manslaughter again, but after all the airboating we did not so long ago, do we really need another motorized section?
Hello, Dr. Freeman. The car's all ready for you.
I think that if the car had been as fun to drive as the airboat, then the answer would have been yes. It's, regrettably, not. It's faster, but that's about it. The steering is stiff. The mounted gun is hard to aim and does very little damage. Sure, it's fun to run people over, but usually I just ditch the car on the side of the road as early as I can.
Gordon Freeman! This steerable rocket launcher is our best bet for taking down a gunship. Hello. I'll be right with you. Now, where was I? Yes. Using the laser guide, you can steer your rocket past the gunship's defenses and prevent it from shooting down your rocket. This will only anger it at first, but if you can survive long enough to make several direct hits, you'll be rewarded with a prize worthy of any mantelpiece. Now, who's going to be the lucky one to carry it into combat? Yes, Gordon Freeman. I couldn't have asked for a finer volunteer. Go on, teach that gunship a lesson it will never forget.
Fighting against a gunship is interesting, because you need to give your rocket an unpredictable trajectory, otherwise the gunship will shoot it down. So basically it makes you feel like you're doing the exact opposite of a choreography, if that makes any sense. I think this is the first time we get to give a closer look at one of the Combine's machines, which are not machines, they're synths. Basically, they're animals that they've modified to turn them into vehicles or weapons. This one is some sort of a blend between a dragonfly, a lobster, and a heavy machine gun.
Good luck in Nova Prospekt, Dr. Freeman.
And please tell Dr. Vance that Colonel Coverage regrets not having been able to rescue him in person. Drive safely.
Drive safely? Haha, fat chance. Woo! Seatbelts are for nerds! Three in a row out of the same door? Splendid strategy, guys. Brilliant. And here's one of my favorite weapons, a sniper crossbow that shoots glowing hot rebar, and it can pin enemies to walls. The Combine have incredibly advanced technology, but there's one thing they haven't mastered: the handbrake. The bridge. I love this section as much as I hate it. I love its atmospheric qualities, the sound of the waves crashing through the shore, the seagulls, the fog, the very autumnal quality of it. I cannot find the exact quote for some reason, but Viktor Antonov said that he felt that it was important that Half-Life 2 be set in the autumn, because the autumn light would be perfect for this kind of game. I very much agree, but man, we don't need platforming in an FPS. We don't need 3D platforming in an FPS. We don't. Sometimes there are trains that are crossing through the bridge, so everything starts shaking. That's a cool effect, but I would appreciate more if I wasn't fucking platforming. The bridge is great music too, a nice ambient tune. You know you're close to the objective when you start getting shot. After a while, you arrive at the control room and you press the button to deactivate the shield, which will allow you to cross the trainway that is on top of the bridge. Pro tip! At this moment, don't walk away. Wait. There's gonna be a battle under the bridge with a gunship. If you stay in the control room, the gunship will start attacking you there. Fighting it from the control room is much less of a hassle than fighting it under the bridge, so try to get 3 rockets in the gunship there. And hey, if you play on easy difficulty, 3 rockets is enough to kill it. It's 5 on normal difficulty and I think 7 on hard. We are observing a fight. Zombie versus Antlions. Who's gonna win? And the zombie wins. Flawless victory. And now I'm doing the same thing again. There are Antlions that arrived and soldiers arrived at the same time, and the soldiers are fighting the Antlions. Who is going to win? Oh, the Antlions won. Huh. Okay. Soldiers kill zombies. Zombies kill Antlions, and Antlions kill soldiers. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a rock, paper, scissors situation on our hands. After that, we have a moody section which alternates between creepy tunnels with great set pieces. I mean, look at this composition. And driving on a highway next to the beach, but I ditched the car because I prefer walking. And honestly, wouldn't you? I mean, take in this soundscape. Would you really want that to be eclipsed by the sound of an engine? Games don't have to be 100% action all the time, it's fine to let players just walk. There's always a lighthouse. There's always a man. There's always a city. Welcome to the middle of the video. If you're seeing this, it means that you've made it through the first half. Congratulations, my little PogChamp. I think you've earned a little rest before we continue the video. So here's, for an interlude, Combine Music by Sketchu. Now back to the show. For me, Half-Life 2 is all about the atmosphere. The story is cool and good, but it does not really matter. The atmosphere is what makes this game so great.
Still, Laszlo. Someone's coming. You there! Stop where you are! Stay on the rocks! Don't step on the sand! It makes the Antlions crazy! Laszlo, don't move! No. Help! Dear God! Poor Laszlo! The finest mind of his generation! To come to such an end. We were heading for the Vortigaunt camp, hoping to pick up some bug baits so these damn things would leave us alone. But without Laszlo, what's the point?
Sadly, this is not a Paul Denton situation. Whatever you do, you cannot save Laszlo. Believe me, I've tried. If I'm being presented with this kind of situation, I would rather be able to influence its outcome, but go off, I guess. If they come at you one by one, the Antlions are very manageable, but if you get surrounded, you're as good as dead. These bugs are more dangerous than they look. I've rarely been killed by a cop or a soldier, but Antlions, many times. And here's the boss of the level, the Antlion Guard. It's a bullet sponge, but it's quite weak to explosions.
The Freeman must follow. The Freeman will do wise to heed our extraction of the Myrmidon's aromatic theropods. The process is not entirely hygienic, therefore stand aside. The Freeman will have need of these theropods on the paths ahead. Gather them now.
Well, Dr. Freeman, you're a regular antlion now.
I swear by the theropods myself.
The Freeman must excuse us. It is rude of us to commune by flux shifting in front of those whose vocal inputs are impaired. Yes, we'll vocalize in your auditory language as a matter of courtesy. Unless we wish to say unflattering things about you. Just so.
Shitheads.
Get going, Dr. Freeman. Nova Prospekt is just ahead. One man alone wouldn't stand much chance going in there. But a man with a pack of antlions, well, that's a different story.
So I control the Antlions now? Interesting. Earlier we established that Antlions win against soldiers, but does that always hold true? Pretty much, yeah. Nice. Interestingly, they don't only attack targets that you threw bug bait at, but also everyone you shoot at, or everyone that is shooting at you. So I guess this means it really will be quite easy to break into Nova Prospekt, even if I'm still not sure what Nova Prospekt actually is. Man, this fight is tricky. You get attacked by two gunships. One shoots you, and the other shoots your rockets down. Reverse choreography intensifies. And so we arrived. We are about to get into Nova Prospekt. Remember when I said every location in Half-Life 2 has a mood? Well, this one is the exception. Compared to the rest of the game, Nova Prospekt is quite bland. It's really not as fun as the rest of the game. The lore is quite hardcore and interesting, but it's merely hinted at. It's never stated explicitly. And it also is full of the worst enemy in the game, automatic turret guns. Once again, every enemy in Half-Life 2 is fun to fight in one way or another, with this one being the exception. I hate these turret guns. So to make things less difficult, I'm gonna talk about something else. Let's address the elephant in the room, let's talk politics. Is Half-Life 2 about communism? In my opinion, the evidence is overwhelming. Let's look at the facts. There doesn't seem to be any privately owned business anywhere. Your choice is basically work for the government or starve.
I don't know about you, but I'm ready to join civil protection just to get a decent meal.
Police presence is ubiquitous, and there is mass surveillance all around all the time. Everyone is forced to wear the same clothes. There is no freedom of movement, and you don't get to choose where you live. Apartments don't even have doors anymore because no property.
Was that you knocking? I didn't even know we still had a door.
The de facto leader, Wallace Breen, doesn't call himself king or emperor, but the administrator. And the Combine is only a slang term used by dissidents. Their official name is the Universal Union. There are even more subtle cues like the architecture, the omnipresence of Cyrillic, the fact that the canals, rivers and oceans are becoming empty because the Combine are stealing water, which resembles what Stalin did to the Aral Sea, or the fact that Wallace Breen looks like Marx without the scruffiness. Seriously, look at him. This is what Marx would have looked like if he ever took a shower. So yeah, I think it's fair to say that City 17 is Bolshevik to the core. This is what society will become if we let the Reddit moderators win the culture war. This is what John Lennon envisioned when he wrote Imagine. If I had to postulate a hypothesis, I would say that this overstated and almost lurid portrayal of communism happened because Gabe Newell was sick and tired of paying taxes. This is most likely what motivated such a storyline. And to be fair, it's not all USSR all the time. The story also bears similarities to the Israeli occupation of Arab territories, with all the walls and the checkpoints, and the 7-Hour War being a blatant nod to the 6-Day War of 1967. And there is also resemblance to the Vichy regime, with the surrendering of Earth and Wallace Breen being an obvious stand-in for Philippe Pétain. To conclude this bracket, I really want to say that this is normal. Half-Life 2 is a game about fighting against the government in a dystopia. If you make a game like this, there are going to be parallels with actual historical events. Unless your scenario is so stupid that it sounds like it was literally written by a 12-year-old. Recently, I've heard so many times people claim that politics do not belong in video games, and I do not agree with that. Of course, it would be terrible if every single video game had politics in it. If they started putting politics in Tetris or Minecraft or Need for Speed, I would be pissed off. But politics should be used when it is contextually appropriate, and in a game like this, it is 100% contextually appropriate.
Hold it there.
Gordon, you made it. My dad's up there somewhere, in that holding area. It's gonna take some doing to get him out.
It's gonna take some time to do the things we never have.
There he is. Let me see if I can get this open. Dad, are you all right?
I'm fine, but you've got to get out of here.
We're here to get you out, Dad.
Never mind me. Save yourselves.
No, we're not leaving you. I think I can recalibrate the Combine portal to get us out of here.
It's not worth the risk, Alex. Get out while you can.
We're not leaving here without you. That's final.
We can't leave Judith here either.
Don't worry, Dad. We'll find her. For now, I'm going to send you to the teleport chamber. Let's get out of here.
So far we've only seen the high security portion of Nova Prospekt, but Alex is trying to hack the computer system to get us into the extra high security portion of the prison.
Hey, it worked. Keep an eye out for Mossman. I'll get my dad through the prison as far as I can, then I'll catch up with you.
Since we're still stuck in Nova Prospekt and I still hate this place, why don't we talk about the music? I'm not a fan of it in general, except for a couple tracks, but I do not know what genre it is. And that is a good thing, because I listen to a lot of music of all kinds. I love Dua Lipa just as much as I love Merzbau, but I've never really heard music that sounds like the Half-Life soundtrack. It has a uniqueness to it, and that plays into the strange and alien feeling of the game. I appreciate the fact that it doesn't loop, tracks are triggered by scripted events, and that plays into the cinematographic feel of the game. And a lot of tracks sound sort of the same, some of them even are recycled from the first Half-Life game. I've seen some people say that this is laziness, but personally I appreciate the continuity.
There's really a lot going on at once, pretty nice cutting-edge graphics, so there's a real realism to the world. When you combine that with some fairly complex sound effects, some really interesting monster behaviors, I just hope that people really sort of get sucked into the game so that, you feel it's sort of this living, breathing place.
Mission accomplished.
Let's see if we can find Mossman. There she is. Wait a minute. How'd she...
It's from your area.
I'm not calling about that.
What's she up to?
You promised you weren't going to touch Eli.
Oh my
The
God.
soldiers were a bit overzealous, I admit, but he was too tempting a prize to simply turn loose. Especially in the absence of Gordon Freeman.
Oh, snap!
If you'd been patient and just waited for my signal.
We weren't entirely sure you were ever going to get around to that. Human loyalties being what they are.
Dr. As I have stated before, you have to let Eli come around on his own.
I have known Dr. Vance far longer than you, my dear. I'm afraid your feelings for him may have blinded you.
Feelings? This has nothing to do with feelings. It's a simple truth that when Eli believes
This is not open to debate, Dr. Mossman.
Doctor, please.
So sorry, Judith. I'm all out of time.
Damn her! I don't believe this!
Shit just got real, huh?
Come on, Gordon. Now we've really gotta hurry.
Pro tip! While digesting this abrupt plot twist might make you dizzy, come back to your senses and remember to take the 2 turrets that Alex hacked with you. You'll need them. And here we are at the worst mission in the game. Yeah, Nova Prospekt is shit from start to finish. Gameplay-wise, I mean. The story is dope. Every time I feel a Half-Life 2 craving and want to reinstall the game, I hesitate because of this very moment. It's the worst FPS trope ever created. Waves of enemies. Words cannot express how much I loathe this mechanic. Basically, groups of soldiers will come at you again and again and again and again and again and again, and it's what still? Oh, this takes too fucking long, and again and.
Sorry to take so long, Gordon. Looks like you could have used some help.
You think?
I won't leave you again, though. Now let's track down Mossman. Uh-oh.
I think this was supposed to be a oh shit moment, but it feels like a pleasant walk in the park compared to the assembly line combat that we had earlier. This is basically an escort mission, except you're not escorting Alex, she's escorting you. Still, have your gun ready and do not let her shoot first. If she shoots first, the soldiers could gang up on her and she might die. She's really strong and with very good reflexes, so she almost never dies, but if she dies, you have game over. Surprisingly, as I said earlier, when I replayed the game, I replayed it 3 times, in easy, normal, and hard difficulty. When I played in easy, she died a few times, when I played in normal difficulty, she died only once, and in hard, 0. It seems that there's something that changes with the AI that makes her somewhat more vulnerable in easy difficulty, or maybe she's targeted by the enemies more. I'm not sure why it happens. Overall, she's much more an asset than a liability though, and you almost never have to worry about keeping her alive.
Found her. Ha! Got you now.
Hello? Oh, thank God someone... Alex? Gordon, how did you get in here?
We know all about you and Breen.
What?
You've been a spy for the Combine the whole time.
What are you talking about? Alex, whatever you may think, I assure you, I have worked to protect your father.
Shut up and be glad you're still some use to us. We're going to reconfigure this teleport and get the hell out of here.
You see, we're working to the same end. I've already reprogrammed the modulator to emulate a Zen relay.
That's my father's work you stole.
It's my work too. And I had to prove to Dr. Breen that your father would be the most valuable member of any research effort going forward.
Enough of your bullshit! Dad, down here. Sorry we took so long. I hope that wasn't too bad for you.
Don't worry about me, sweetheart. Judith, I see they set you free.
Not exactly.
Eli! I was so worried about you.
The coordinates, Dr. Mossman. Dr. Kleiner!
Yes, Alex. Where are you?
We're in Nova Prospekt. And we're running the Zen emulation for the first time. Are you ready for us?
Ready, willing, and fully enabled.
Good. We'll send my dad through first. He's in position for... What's that? Hold on, gotta bring this back down.
Oh, really didn't see that one coming, huh?
No, stop! What are you doing?
I'm sorry, Alex. It's the only...
No! Get back!
What's going on, Alex? What's happening?
Oh my god! What coordinates are these? Where the hell did she take him?
A bunch of soldiers are coming, but once again, compared to earlier, this is a fucking walk in the park. If you place your turrets correctly, you barely have to fight at all. It's not fun, but we are stuck in here while she reprograms the thing, so...
Hey, Doc, we're locked on.
I await your arrival with great anticipation.
Finally, we're out of Nova fucking Prospekt!
My god, we made it.
The game's about to become good again!
But where's Dr. Kleiner?
Who cares?
Kleiner,
We're out!
My God, how did you get here? And when?
What's wrong?
My dear, I had given up hope of ever seeing you again.
I think the teleport exploded just as we were porting out.
Indeed, it did. And the repercussions were felt far and wide, but that was over a week ago.
What do you mean? Gordon and I were just there a minute ago.
Fascinating.
Then what have we missed?
A great deal, my dear. The blow you struck at Nova Prospekt was taken as a signal to begin the uprising.
But what about my father?
Well, that is most troubling. According to the Vortigaunts, he is a prisoner at the Citadel.
We've got to get my father out.
Barney has been leading a push with that very aim in mind, and another of your friends arrived several days ago.
Dog, you made it. Good boy.
So there, you see? It's not all hopeless.
I wish I shared your optimism, Doctor.
So Alex decided to stay with Dr. Kleiner to immanentize the rebellion, while we are tasked with taking Dog out for a walk. Or maybe Dog is taking us out. It's not exactly clear who is the leader of the pack. And our dog has been distracted by a fly. This is so typical.
Yes, I am a collaborator. We must all collaborate willingly.
Gordon Freeman, you're here.
Dr. Freeman? We're coming with you. With you here, Dr. Freeman, we can finally make some headway.
It is futile to cry for mother's milk when our true sustenance awaits us among the stars. And only the universal union that small minds call the Combine can carry us there. Therefore I say yes, I am a collaborator. We must all collaborate willingly, eagerly, if we expect to reap the benefits of unification.
Wait, what the fuck? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Could this be a watermelon? Or maybe I'm tripping and this is just an inflatable zucchini. No, this is a watermelon! Who is cultivating them? And who is shipping them all the way over to Russia? The agricultural pipeline and the infrastructure necessary for this kind of... Oh man, I don't... Out of all the things that make no sense in the game, this one is like, it's the tough pill to swallow for me. Suspension of disbelief can only go so far. By the way, how are the headcrabs and zombies completely unaffected by radioactivity? They literally sleep in there like fish in a pond. Like, okay, I know that radioactivity affects us because it destroys our DNA, and it stands to reason that the headcrabs do not have any DNA, since they come from another dimension. But then how are they able to mutate the humans they latch on? Doesn't mutation imply DNA? Do they have a way to... I'm looking too much into it, right? Is that what's happening? But this isn't fucking Skyrim. So much of this game is based on actual science. I cannot help but think scientifically. I'm playing Gordon Freeman, a fucking theoretical physicist, for fuck's sake. I think I'm gonna have to invite an actual scientist to the show to answer some of the questions, because this is hurting my brain. Hey, grenades, a watermelon, beer, and a shotgun. Someone here knows how to party! And it is party time. Blast off! It's party time! And we're living the fastest nation! Blast off! It's party time! And where the fuck are you? Oh, she's here. Okay, cool.
Let's go.
And we found the bathtub store, apparently.
Well, we're in luck. There's a generator in the square outside. We're trying to disable as many as we can to loosen the Combine's grip on this sector. In the meantime, watch my back.
We were looking to join you, Dr. Freeman.
Now is a good time to mention that there is no friendly fire in this game. It makes the game easier at the cost of realism. So yeah, if at some point you see me shooting one of my teammates, I'm actually shooting someone that's behind them, because my bullets do not hurt my teammates, they go right through them, as if they were ghosts. In the first Half-Life you could shoot and kill anyone, whether it was an enemy, a security guard, or one of your fellow scientists. Didn't matter at all. They changed it, but for a good reason. In the first Half-Life you were basically only trying to save yourself, but in Half-Life 2 you're trying to save all society. It's unrealistic, but I understand why this design choice was made. It makes no sense in a way that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, Barney should be on the far side of that... Well, there used to be a bridge here. Let me see if I can scout a new path. Hey! Looks like we might be able to get through down there. Let's head that way. Ah, no! Gordon, run! Get out of here!
Can do! Tunnels! We meet again! I kinda missed you, actually. The tunnels in this game are really good tunnels. And then we arrive at the factory? I have no idea what this place is. Your guess is as good as mine. And here we have our first taste of real 3D combat, as the enemies can shoot you from up, down, left, right, front, back. It's a bullet fest, just how I like them. Great acoustics too, ya hear that reverb?
Barney said you were on the way. We got split up by snipers, and he's pinned down in a warehouse up ahead. Go ahead, he's relying on you.
Flattering, but I kinda wish he wasn't. Too many people are starting to rely on me. That is stressful. Well, snipers. Let's see if my old antidote still works. Yup.
Is somebody up there? We thought we'd be safer down here. Little we know the place was infested.
So what am I, a janitor now? Motherfucker, you can't do that! That's illegal!
Gordon, I can't move. These snipers got me pinned down. Gordon, lob a couple grenades. That'll clear them out.
Oh, thanks for explaining me how to do my fucking job, Barney. I could never have figured this one on my own.
One down, one to go, buddy.
Shut up!
We'll have to get in that building to open the gate. Even then, the suppression device will, suppress anyone coming through unless we shut it down.
Wait, so earlier we learned that people cannot reproduce because the Combine are using something called a suppression field, which basically turns everyone sterile, which is why there are 0 children anywhere. But now we learn that the weapon that the Combine are using to protect their headquarters is called the suppression device? Who the hell is in charge of naming these things? And now we have an even worse version of the fucking automatic turrets from Nova Prospekt. They come out of the floor when you touch the lasers, and then they go back. If you want to destroy them, you have a short window of time, and you can only do it from a specific angle, and it's really hard to aim. This is just frustrating. And to make things even worse, Barney is still backseat fighting!
Roll a grenade in there if you've got one. That ought to do it.
Shut up! Man, the contrast between the classic European architecture and the combined technological buildings is just so tasty. This game is such a treat for the eyes. Actually no, it's not just a treat, it's the whole fucking pantry. Valve are architectural geniuses, seriously. Excuse me, what? Just like old times? Barney, are you enjoying this? We're in the middle of a gruesome civil war and we might die at any second in horrific conditions. But you think it's just like old times? Are you a psychopath, Barney? Is that what you are? You might have a minor case of serious brain damage. Look at these dumbass firing rockets at a fence. Yeah, I'm firing too, but I'm firing bullets. These go between the bars. Your rockets don't... Oh, he's doing it again. Okay. Tell you what, let's go back to architecture.
Il y a 2 éléments qui sont importants. Il y a un peu d'excitation qui est apportée par des moments climatiques, il y a de la peur, il y a du drame. Et il y a quelque part le côté beauté et sublime. Et quand l'angoisse rencontre le sublime, on a des moments très intenses. Et c'est aussi l'histoire d'un vécu, quelque part. La sensation qu'on a quand on va dans une ville qu'on ne connaît pas, on découvre les lumières, les sons, l'architecture de la nouvelle ville. Alors ça, c'est des forts moments qui synthétisent un peu notre vie quotidienne et qui la dépassent. C'est de la beauté, de l'angoisse et des souvenirs.
Dr. Freeman, since you shut off the suppressor and opened the gate, we can really move people through now. The Combine's gonna feel the squeeze. We dropped a crate of rockets coming across the plaza. If you can make it there, you should have everything you need to take down these Striders.
Ce qui est vraiment fascinant pour moi, c'est de prendre des valeurs de l'art traditionnel, l'art classique, comme on l'appelle, l'art baroque, après penser un peu à la révolution industrielle et l'esthétisme des machines, l'esthétisme mécanique qui a été créé dans le 19e siècle, et bien sûr la science-fiction qui est le futurisme. Et c'est ces passerelles qui m'intéressent beaucoup, et de ramener un peu d'héritage historique pour les jeunes fans de science-fiction.
It seems that they redesigned the scanners during the week that we missed. Why?
to the Citadel wall, Doc. I don't know how the hell we're gonna breach it, but you've made it this far. I'm sure you'll think of something.
Well, usually I solve my problems by shooting at them, so... These motherfuckers keep pestering me about reloading every 2 seconds if my magazine goes half empty. How? Are they counting how many shots I fire in the middle of all this chaos? On one hand, it's kind of a good thing because it made me paranoid about reloading because I couldn't stand hearing them nagging me so much. And reloading is quite important in that game. But then it got me thinking, some guns literally fire pellets of dark energy. That's incredible. Can't we have guns that reload automatically? Do we really have to reload? It's an annoying little chore, that's all it is. Why don't we just sci-fi it out of existence? It would have been nice to get rid of it.
Gotta reload.
What do you think I'm doing, fuckhead?
Came crashing through the plaza, knocking over walls, and I think he's looking for Alex. He seems to have it set in his head that she's in the Citadel. I figured Alex wouldn't want him getting any deeper in trouble, but hell, you try stopping him. Hey, dog, not there. You can't get through that way. Well, I'll be damned. I think he wants you to go through, Gordon. You'd better hurry.
This rubs me the wrong way so much. Yeah, let's make a game with police brutality, torture, political oppression, zombies, communism, the whole 9 yards, people getting cut into by saw blades, but God forbid we let one of the characters say fuck without censoring it. Americans are insane. This is the kind of shit why so many people hate America. This is just mental. Yeah, put censorship in a game about fighting against the government. Very smart, very appropriate. Let's put so much graphical effort in making the character look believable and avoid the uncanny valley, but then let's ruin it by making the dialogue fold into the uncanny valley of speech. What the hell, Valve? And apparently now we gotta get into one of these coffin things like the one Eli Vance was, because it seems like it's the only way to go around. Does Breen travel inside one of these in his daily commute? Being inside the Citadel is amazing. For me, this is what science fiction is all about. This architecture, this environment. Everything in here is an amazing piece of design. And now we're stuck in the confiscation field, which is meant to get rid of all your weapons. Now it makes sense how we would recognize most of these, since pretty much all our weapons have been stolen from the Combine. But what about the crowbar? It's technically not a weapon. And also the Antlion theropods? No? Everything's gone? Okay. But somehow it doesn't work on the gravity gun, and now it's blue. Generally, in the Half-Life universe, orange equals chill and blue equals dangerous. So let's try this new version of the gravity gun and see what it does. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I could get used to that.
So, this is Dr. Freeman. At last. I wish I could say this was a pleasant surprise, but it's neither a surprise nor, as you will surely agree, very pleasant.
Oh, I don't know. I kind of like it here. And now we arrive at yet another elevator. Man, the amount of elevators in this game is properly mind-blowing. It's pretty much one of the most important elements in the game. Elevators. Why? Is this Dark Souls 2? Oh, what? Did I really see what I thought I saw? Yep. Fucking man-hacks. Man, after all I've done, after all I've gone through, they really think they're gonna stop me or even slow me down with a couple man-hacks? This is insulting.
Destroyed so much. What is it exactly that you have created? Look at what you are throwing away. Is it worth it?
Oh, so we're doing this again, huh? I guess we are. Hey look, it's scrap synth and mortar synth, unused enemy designs made by Dabi Eng. More on that later. That is so cool. And that is less cool. Damn.
I'll take him from here. Don't struggle, it's no use. Until you're where he wants you, there's nothing you can do.
That is somehow even more ominous than it should be. Sounds like I'm about to get raped.
Carbon starred with ancient satellites colonized by sentient fungi, gas giants, inhabited by vast meteorological intelligences, worlds stretched thin across the membranes where the dimensions intersect.
Blade Runner moment.
Impossible to describe with our limited vocabulary.
What I've seen is also beyond words, Breen. Genocide. Indescribable evil.
Oh, you have no taste for intergalactic poetry, Eli.
Well, if it isn't Gordon Freeman at last. What's this? I'll put it over there.
I love that line. The delivery is perfect.
My gratitude, Doctor. First you lead me straight to the doorstep of my oldest friend, and then you deliver yourself? If I'd known you were going to come straight up to my office, I wouldn't have bothered hunting you in the first place. Having both of you in my keeping ensures I can dictate the terms of any bargain I care to make with the Combine.
Dr. Breen. Wallace.
Yes, Judith, what is it?
The bargain we should be making is for Eli's life so he can continue his research.
Thanks to you, we have everything we need in that regard. You're more than qualified to finish his research yourself. What neither you nor I can do is convince that rabble in the streets to give up their senseless struggle. Yet Eli refuses to speak the words that would save them all.
Save them? For what?
Eli, if you won't do the right thing for the good of all people, maybe you'll do it for one of them.
Alex, honey.
Dad. Gordon?
God damn you, Breen, you let her go.
That's all up to you, my old friend. Will you let your stubborn short-sightedness doom the entire species, or will you give your child the chance her mother never had?
How dare you even mention her?
Alex, my dear, you have your mother's eyes, but your father's stubborn nature.
You haven't seen a bit of it yet.
Really? Well, let's see how well it serves you on the far side of a Combine portal.
Go ahead, Breen. If that's the worst you can do, send us both through your portal.
The Vances, everyone. Kill him, see if they care.
That's hard to believe once you get there.
It isn't necessary.
I agree. It's a total waste. Fortunately, the Resistance has shown it is willing to accept a new leader. And this one has proven to be a fine pawn for those who control him.
No!
Don't listen to him, Gordon.
He's right.
Did you realize your contract was open to the highest bidder?
Gordon would never make any kind of deal with you.
He's right,
If
though.
you don't wish to discuss this in front of your friends, I'll send them on their way, and then we can talk openly.
Don't struggle, honey.
Dad, I'm so sorry.
Alex, sweetheart.
Judith, what do you think you're doing?
We're doing what I could never do alone. We're stopping you.
Oh, so that's why she's called Judith, huh? And I thought it was just a reference to a perfect circle. That would make Breen Holofernes and the combined Nebuchadnezzar? Makes sense. Though I'm not sure if that's a great thing to reference in this context, given the authoritarian implications of the book.
You're all out of time. Don't...
You fool!
Watch out, he's gonna...
No!
Still not dead.
There's no time, Alex. He's on his way to the portal.
Come on, Gordon. Let's go.
My girl.
And another elevator.
The portal destination is untenable. Surely you can set the relay elsewhere. There's one way I can survive in that environment. A host body, you must be joking. I can't possibly...
There he is.
Oh, all right, damn it, if that's what it takes. Just hurry, he's right behind me. Oh, shit.
Damn it, not again.
You're sick of elevators too,
I
huh?
wonder where he's going. Oh my god. This is the Citadel's dark fusion reactor. It powers their tunneling entanglement device.
So not only is dark fusion not a thing, except in Yu-Gi-Oh! Apparently, but tunneling and entanglement are two separate things that are pretty much opposite to each other, if I understood correctly. It's like saying hot-cold. Nice view, though.
Do your worst, Gordon. But be careful.
There he is.
Dr. Freeman, you really shouldn't be out there. At the moment of synapse, as I teleport, this chamber will be bathed in deadly particles that have yet to be named by human science. Perhaps when I have the leisure to do the work myself, I'll name one of them after you. That way you won't be completely forgotten.
Nice.
When the singularity collapses, I will be far away from here, in another universe, as a matter of fact. You, on the other hand, will be destroyed in every way it is possible to be destroyed, and even in some which are essentially impossible.
He's such a cool villain. Great character writing, honestly.
Are you still with us, Dr. Freeman? Not for much longer, I think. If only you had harnessed your boundless energy for a useful purpose.
Oh my god. The portal is opening.
Once again, he's right. I do have no idea what I'm doing.
No! You need me.
Yeah! You did it! Come on, Gordon. We've got to get out of here. Maybe we still have...
Time, Dr. Freeman? Is it really that time again? It seems as if you only just arrived. You've done a great deal in a small time span.
Well, that's just how most video games work.
Well, in fact, that I've received some interesting offers for your services. Ordinarily, I wouldn't contemplate them, but these are extraordinary times. Rather than offer you the illusion of free choice, I will take the liberty of choosing for you, if and when your time comes round again. In the meantime, this is where I get off.
And so we get another mysterious cliffhanger ending. Okay, makes sense. It's bookending, really. There's a certain symmetry to the game, almost like a palindrome. First thing you see is the G-Man, and then Breen. Penultimate thing you see is Breen, and then the G-Man. Half-Life really like bookending. In the first game, you started in a tram and you ended in another tram. Now, to rate this game is very easy. Between its obsession with vehicles, its love for the color orange, the obvious choice is the sidecar, especially since it became popular during the Prohibition. So yeah, every time someone asks me what is my favorite video game of all time, I answer Half-Life 2. And that is not quite the truth. When I started working on the pre-production for this video, first thing I did was just think about it and try to conjure in my mind my favorite moments and my fondest memories of Half-Life 2, and then I played the game and I realized that a lot of these memories were not from Half-Life 2, but from its episodic sequels, Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and Half-Life 2 Episode 2. Half-Life 2 has lots of great qualities and not too many flaws. Enough to be one of my all-time favorites? Almost! Very fucking close, but not exactly. And I will talk about that and many other things in part 2 of this video coming soon. Thanks for watching. If you liked, don't forget to thumbs up. If you really liked, subscribe. And if you really liked and want to help me do more videos like this, I have a Patreon. The address is on the screen right now. Once again, thanks everyone for watching. See ya in part 2.